You have felt it, haven't you? That quiet pull in the stillness of the night, the whisper that speaks without words. It is not coincidence that you are here, nor is it mere chance that you feel the weight of something unseen pressing upon your spirit. The world tells you that readiness is about doing more, striving harder, proving yourself. But that is the great illusion. You are not preparing to become. You are awakening to what you already are. At 3 a.m., when the world is silent and the mind is unguarded, truth emerges. The final step is not about movement, it is about recognition. You've already passed the test, now you must stay ready. You have felt it, haven't you? That quiet pull in the stillness of the night, the whisper that speaks without words. It is not coincidence that you are here, nor is it mere chance that you feel the weight of something unseen pressing upon your spirit. The world tells you that readiness is about doing more, striving harder, proving yourself. But that is the great illusion. You are not preparing to become. You are awakening to what you already are. At 3 a.m., when the world is silent and the mind is unguarded, truth emerges. The final step is not about movement, it is about recognition. You have already passed the test. Now you must stay ready. But what does it mean to be ready? Most people misunderstand this. They think readiness is about controlling every detail, securing every outcome, eliminating all uncertainty. But have you noticed? Life does not wait for you to feel ready. It does not pause while you gather your confidence. The river flows, with or without your permission. And here's the paradox. You are at your most ready when you stop trying to force readiness. The final step, the moment you've been waiting for, does not require more effort, more struggle, or more preparation. It requires something far more powerful: surrender. This is where many falter. They believe that if they let go, if they release control, they will fall into chaos. But look at nature. Does the tree strain to grow? Does the river force its way to the ocean? No. They move with the rhythm of existence, and you too are part of that great rhythm. The truth is, you do not need to chase your destiny. You need only to align yourself with what is already unfolding. At 3 a.m., when the mind is still and the noise of the world has faded, a doorway opens. This is why the call comes in the quiet hours. It is not because 3 a.m. is magical in itself, but because you are most receptive when you are not distracted by the waking world. The unseen forces move when the world sleeps, and in those moments you are closest to hearing the voice of destiny. If you have been woken up at that hour, understand that it is not random, it is an invitation. But here is where many fail. They wake up, they sense something, but they dismiss it, they roll over and go back to sleep. They ignore the call, waiting for a clearer sign, a louder voice, a more obvious direction. But the truth is, the call has already come, and the final step is realizing you do not need another sign. You are the sign. The very fact that you have made it this far, that you have endured, that you have persisted, that you have felt something deep within urging you forward, this is all the confirmation you need. You have already passed the test. The struggles, the waiting, the uncertainty, these were never obstacles. They were initiations. Life has been refining you, preparing you, stripping away the illusions that once held you back. Do not fall into the trap of thinking you are still being tested. The test was never about proving yourself to some external force. It was about revealing yourself to yourself. You have already been chosen, but now you must step into what you were chosen for. And so, you must stay ready. But not in the way the world teaches. Readiness is not anxiety, not clenching your fists, not holding your breath. Readiness is openness. It is trust. It is the ability to move when the moment calls, without hesitation, without doubt. The final step is not a step at all. It is a realization, a knowing, a deep, unshakable awareness that you are exactly where you need to be. And when the moment arrives, you will not need to force it. You will simply step forward, effortlessly, into what was already waiting for you. At 3 a.m., when the world is still, when the noise of the day has faded, something stirs within you. It is in these silent hours that clarity emerges, when the distractions of the waking world no longer have their grip on you. Have you noticed? It is in the quiet that the deepest truths come to light. This is why throughout history seekers have risen in the dark before dawn, mystics have meditated in the hush of early morning, and revelations have arrived in moments when the mind is unguarded. The world may sleep, but something within you remains awake, watching, waiting, listening. If you have been stirred from rest at this sacred hour, it is not a coincidence, it is a calling. You have already passed the test, but the mind will try to convince you otherwise. It will whisper doubts, tell you that you are still waiting, still proving, still needing something more before you can step forward. But what if the waiting has already ended? What if you are standing at the threshold right now? The mind clings to the idea that readiness is something external, some sign, some confirmation, some event that will suddenly make everything clear. But the truth is, clarity does not arrive from the outside, it unfolds from within. You do not need another signal, you do not need more evidence. The very fact that you are here, drawn to this moment, feeling the weight of something greater pressing upon you, this is all the confirmation you need. You have already walked through the fire, already endured the trials that were meant to refine you. Every delay, every hardship, every moment of uncertainty was never meant to break you. It was meant to strengthen you, to prepare you, to strip away everything that is not truly you. And now you stand at the edge of something vast, something unseen, something waiting to meet you the moment you step forward without fear. But stepping forward is not about force. This is the paradox. The final step is not a struggle, not a battle, not another exhausting push forward. It is effortless. It is alignment. It is moving with, not against, the current of life. You have been conditioned to believe that great moments require strain, that achievement demands suffering, that breakthroughs only come through relentless effort. But in reality, the most profound transformations happen in stillness, in surrender, in the instant you realize you do not need to fight for what is already yours. At 3 a.m. you are closer to the unseen than ever before. The distractions have faded, the mind is quiet, and for a moment you can hear what has always been there, guiding you, calling you, reminding you of who you truly are. But will you listen? That is the real question. Many wake in the night, feeling something stir within them, but they roll over and go back to sleep, dismissing the moment as nothing more than restlessness. But those who understand, those who are truly ready, know that this is the hour of awakening. This is the moment to be still, to receive, to recognize that the universe is not waiting to give you something, it is waiting for you to realize you already have it. The final step is not something you take with your feet, but with your awareness. It is not about grasping for something outside of yourself, but about knowing deeply and without question that you are already in possession of everything you need. The moment is already here, already unfolding. You do not need to chase it. You need only to stay ready, to stay open, to stay present. And when the time comes, and it will, you will not hesitate. You will move effortlessly into what was always meant for you. You have already passed the test, yet the mind will try to convince you otherwise. It will whisper doubts, tell you that you are still unprepared, still in waiting, still needing something more before you can step forward. But what if the waiting has already ended? What if the door is already open? There is a moment in every journey where the traveler realizes they were never lost to begin with. The road they thought they had to find was always beneath their feet. And so it is with you. You have been walking this path all along. At 3 a.m., when the world is silent and the weight of existence feels lighter, something shifts. This is not just an ordinary hour. It is a space between what was and what will be. The mind is no longer preoccupied with the day's concerns, and for a brief moment, something higher can reach you. It has always been there, speaking in subtle ways, but now you can hear it. It's always been there, speaking in subtle ways, but now you can hear it. The question is, will you listen? Many people are called at this hour, stirred from their sleep by an unexplainable presence, but they dismiss it, turning over, trying to quiet the knowing inside them. But you are not like them. You have felt this pull before. It is why you are here, why you have endured, why something within you refuses to settle for the ordinary. You have not made it this far by accident. Every obstacle, every delay, every moment of doubt was not a detour, but a necessary refinement. The chosen one is not chosen because they are different from others. They are chosen because they remember what others forget. They recognize the signs, the patterns, the synchronicities. They do not ignore the call when it comes. And now you stand at the final threshold. But the last step is not what you think it is. You do not need to struggle, to fight, to push. That was the old way. The new way is effortless. It is stepping into what is already yours without hesitation, without resistance, without fear. But fear has been your companion for so long that the idea of moving without it feels unfamiliar. The mind clings to what is known, even if what is known is suffering. It says, stay where it is safe. Wait for more proof. Wait for the perfect moment. But do you see? That moment is already here. It has been here all along, waiting for you to notice it. The mind creates an illusion of separation, of distance between you and what you desire. But there is no distance. It is already within you. The only thing standing in the way is the belief that you are not ready. Readiness is not something that happens in the future. It is something you step into now. You are ready when you decide you are ready. The ones who move forward are not the ones who have all the answers, but the ones who trust the unfolding. The final step is not about gaining something new, but about realizing you were never lacking. You have already passed through the fire. You have already proven yourself, not to the world, not to some external force, but to yourself. That is the only test that ever mattered. And so, at 3 a.m., in the quiet and the stillness, you are given a choice. Will you embrace what is already yours? Will you finally accept that you have arrived? Or will you turn away, waiting for a moment that has already come? The answer is not found in thought, but in presence. Be still. Feel it. The moment has chosen you. Now. Choose it in return. You have already crossed the threshold, yet something within you hesitates, as if waiting for one final sign, one last confirmation that it is truly time. But the great secret is this: you do not need another sign. The very fact that you feel this moment so deeply, that something inside you knows beyond logic or reason, that you have reached the end of the waiting, is all the confirmation you will ever need. The mind will try to keep you in a loop of preparation, convincing you that you need more time, more clarity, more certainty. But readiness is not a state of perfection. It is a state of trust. You do not move forward because you have removed all fear. You move forward because you no longer let fear dictate your steps. At 3 a.m., the veil is thin. The illusions of the waking world do not hold the same weight in the stillness of night. It is here, in these quiet hours, that the truth has room to rise. Have you noticed how clarity comes when the world is asleep? How the questions that once seemed overwhelming suddenly appear simple, as if they were never really questions at all, but merely distractions keeping you from seeing what was always clear? This is why you have been waking up. This is why you feel a pull in your spirit at this hour. The final step does not need more analysis, more waiting, more searching. It only requires you to recognize that there is nothing left to search for. You have arrived. But here is where most people falter. They sense the moment is near, yet they hesitate. They wait for absolute certainty, for conditions to be perfect, for the voice of destiny to speak in thunder instead of a whisper. But the call does not come in the way the world expects. It does not arrive with flashing lights or a chorus of approval. It comes in the silence, in the stillness, in the knowing that cannot be explained yet cannot be denied. The universe does not scream its messages. It speaks softly, trusting that those who are truly ready will hear. And you have heard. That is why you are here. That is why something in you keeps stirring, keeps waking, keeps feeling that something is shifting, even if you cannot yet put it into words. You do not need to understand every detail before you move. The mind wants explanations, blueprints, a guarantee of success, but that is not how transformation works. The most profound moments in life happen when you step forward, before you fully see the path. It is in the stepping that the way becomes clear. You cannot wait for the light to reveal every inch of the road ahead. You must trust that as you move, the next step will reveal itself. The great ones do not wait for certainty. They trust the knowing within them, the pull that defies logic but feels truer than anything the mind could ever comprehend. And so you stand here now, faced with a choice. You can continue to wait, convincing yourself that there is still something missing, still something more to prepare for, or you can recognize that you are already prepared. You have already passed the test. Every hardship, every delay, every moment of uncertainty was shaping you for this, and now the moment is here. Not in the future, not when things feel easier, but now. Will you step forward? Will you embrace what has been waiting for you all along? At 3 a.m., when the world is still, when all distractions fall away, the truth stands bare. And the truth is this: you are ready. You always have been. The only thing left to do is trust it, step into it, and finally claim what was always meant to be yours. You have already passed the test, but the mind is relentless in its questioning. It wants proof, evidence, something tangible to hold on to before it allows you to step forward. But what if the proof has been there all along? What if every obstacle, every delay, every moment of uncertainty was not a barrier but a bridge? You have been looking for a sign, but you are the sign. The very fact that you have endured, that you have not given up, that you still feel something deep inside pushing you forward, this is all the confirmation you need. You do not need more preparation. You do not need another validation. You need only to trust what you already know. At 3 a.m., when the world is silent, the truth is louder than ever. It speaks in the spaces between thoughts, in the stillness where the mind does not interfere. Have you ever noticed how, in the quiet of night, things feel different? The distractions of the world fade, and what is real becomes undeniable. This is why you are being awakened. This is why something stirs within you when the rest of the world sleeps. It is not just a restless night. It is a calling. It is a reminder that the moment you have been waiting for is not coming, it is here. But what happens now? Many people reach this threshold only to hesitate. They feel the shift, sense the change, yet they hold back. They convince themselves they need just a little more time, a little more clarity, a little more certainty. But certainty does not come before the leap, it comes after. The mind believes that understanding must precede action, but in truth understanding is born from action. The moment you step forward, the questions that once seemed overwhelming will dissolve, and the answers will reveal themselves not in theory but in experience. This is why the final step is not something you take with force, but with surrender. It is not about trying harder, pushing more, or proving anything. That was the old way. The new way is trust. It is stepping into what is already yours, without hesitation, without resistance, without fear. The only thing keeping you from what is meant for you is the belief that you are not yet ready. But let me tell you something. The chosen ones do not wait for permission. They do not hesitate when the call comes. They recognize that the moment is now, and they move, not because they have all the answers, but because they know the answers will come. So here you stand, at the edge of everything you have prayed for, everything you have dreamed of, everything you have worked toward. You have done the work. You have walked through the fire. You have passed through the storms that tried to break you, and yet you are still here, stronger, wiser, ready. But readiness is not a feeling, it is a decision. And now, in this moment, the decision is yours to make. Will you claim what is already waiting for you, or will you delay it with doubt? At 3 a.m. in the stillness, you are closer to the truth than ever before. And the truth is this: you are ready. Not because everything is perfect, not because you have figured it all out, but because you decide to be. Because the universe moves with those who move with it. Because life is not about waiting for certainty, it is about trusting in the unfolding. You have already passed the test. The only thing left to do is step into what has always been yours. The moment is now. The call has come. Will you answer? Ah, chosen one, listen closely. For today we unravel a truth that many fear to face. Money, that glittering mirage we chase, is not meant to be a master that binds you. No, it is energy, fluid, dynamic, and meant to flow freely like water through your hands. Yet we live in a world obsessed with hoarding it, clutching it tightly as if by doing so we can hold life itself. But have you noticed? Water held too tightly spills away, leaving you parched. Today you are reminded of this. To spend money joyfully and purposefully is to declare your freedom, to trust the infinite flow of abundance that life provides. You are not here to be a prisoner of fear or scarcity. You are here to be a creator, a force of life, and a testament to the boundless energy that money represents. So let us begin this journey where you shall learn to embrace the river of life and spend boldly, knowing that the more you give, the more you receive. Ah, chosen one, listen closely, for we are about to step into a truth that may be as unsettling as it is liberating. In this world, we have built an obsession with something we call money. But what is it, really? A paper in your pocket, a number on a screen, an exchange of energy, or perhaps all of these things and more. Money, in its essence, is not something to be feared, hoarded, or worshipped. It is simply energy, a reflection of the flow of life itself. Look closely at the water flowing freely through a river. It doesn't grasp at the banks. It doesn't stagnate in one place. It moves, it circulates, it gives life to everything in its path. If you try to stop the flow of water, it finds another way. The river doesn't worry about where it will go next. It simply moves. It trusts. It trusts that the flow will continue, that the world it nourishes will be fed. Money in this sense is no different. It is not meant to be hoarded like a treasure to keep in the dark corners of your life, but rather something to flow through you, to enrich the world around you, and to return in kind. Yet how often do we allow money to control us? We hoard it, we clutch it, we squeeze it, as though holding onto it will guarantee our security. But this is an illusion. A belief we have constructed based on fear. Fear of not having enough, fear of scarcity, fear of loss. But here's the great paradox. The tighter you hold on to money, the more it slips through your fingers. The moment you think you've grasped it, you realize it is already gone. You cannot hold water in a clenched fist. It escapes no matter how tightly you squeeze. It is not a measure of your worth, nor a guarantee of peace. You cannot buy peace with the money you store in a vault. True wealth does not come from accumulation, but from trust. You, chosen one, must see that money is not your master. It is a tool, a medium, a vehicle for the expression of life. To spend money is not to waste it, but rather to invest in the flow of life. It is a statement, a declaration that you trust in the cycle of the universe, that you believe in abundance rather than scarcity. When you spend, you are not losing something. You are giving, circulating energy, and inviting more energy to come your way. You are not simply buying goods or services. You are participating in the grand dance of exchange. Money is a reflection of your creative energy, your ability to generate value and contribute to the collective. But how often do we forget this? We think that spending is a sign of weakness, of carelessness. We think we must hold on to every penny, count every cent, and cling to the illusion that security comes from the pile we amass. But this kind of thinking keeps us trapped in a small, narrow world, a world where we hoard, protect, and guard, fearing the flow of life itself. It is a life of tension, stress, and limitation. The more we clutch, the more we become afraid of losing it all. And in that fear, we paralyze ourselves. We freeze, unable to act, to move forward. And all the while, life continues to flow around us, ready to carry us to greater heights, if only we let go. It is when we release the need for control, when we trust in the abundance of the universe, that we truly begin to experience the power of money. To spend is not to give up or to lose, but to express the joy of being alive. When you spend, you affirm that there is always more where that came from, that the flow will continue, that the world is abundant, and that you are a part of this great, infinite cycle. To spend wisely and purposefully is to declare your freedom from the limitations of scarcity. It is a choice to act in alignment with the natural flow of energy, unafraid, unburdened, and open to the gifts the universe has to offer. You, chosen one, are a creator of value. The money you spend is a reflection of the energy you've given to the world, the value you've contributed. It is the acknowledgement that you are part of the great exchange of life. Every dollar you spend circulates into the world and comes back to you in countless forms, whether it's in the form of a good or service, the experience you gain, or the relationships you build. You are a channel for the flow of energy. You are not a passive recipient of life, you are an active participant. And the more you participate, the more life flows back to you. In this dance there is no end. There is no final destination where you have accumulated enough to stop the flow. Life is not a ledger to be balanced, but a river to swim in, to enjoy, to let carry you. And just as the river never asks how much water it has, but trusts the flow, so must you. You are not here to accumulate, but to be a part of the great, infinite river of life. Spend, not out of fear or impulse, but out of trust, out of joy, and out of purpose. Spend as a declaration of your freedom, and watch as the universe returns to you more than you could ever imagine. In this world, we often find ourselves grasping at the illusion of security. The more we accumulate, the more we think we can control the flow of life. But, my chosen one, there is a profound truth that lies beyond the surface of our fears. Accumulation, by its nature, is an illusion. Security cannot be found in the hoarding of resources, because the very act of hoarding creates scarcity where there is none. It is as if you are trying to catch the wind with your hands, believing that by holding on to it you will be protected from the storms of life. But wind does not belong to you. It moves freely, circling and embracing everything in its path. It cannot be confined, and neither can life itself. And when we hold on to money tightly, thinking that this will shield us from the unknown, we forget that it is not the accumulation of wealth that brings peace or stability. True security comes from trusting in the flow of life, from accepting that all things are impermanent, and that our attachment to material wealth is what binds us to fear. Money, like water, is not meant to be held. It is meant to flow, to circulate, and to bring life and growth to everything it touches. By holding on to money, we are essentially holding on to a limiting belief, a belief that there is never enough, that we must fight and compete for resources. This mindset, this fear of scarcity, keeps us locked in a cycle of accumulation that only deepens the sense of lack. The more we try to hold on to money, the more we perceive it slipping away from us. It is as if we are desperately trying to fill an endless cup, but no matter how much we pour in, the cup never gets full. Yet when we release the need to cling to it, when we allow money to flow freely, we begin to understand that the universe is abundant, that it provides for us in ways that go beyond our comprehension. Life is not a zero-sum game where one person's gain must come at the expense of another. Life is a flow, a river of infinite possibility. And when we let go of our fear of losing, we open ourselves to the endless potential of giving and receiving. This, my chosen one, is where true freedom lies. To spend money is not to lose it. To spend money is to affirm that you trust in the flow of life. When you spend, you're not simply exchanging paper for goods or services. No, you are participating in the great dance of energy that sustains the universe. Every act of spending is an act of faith, a declaration that you are part of a much larger system, a system where the more you give, the more you will receive. You are not separate from this system. You are an integral part of it. And in this giving and receiving, you become a conduit for the energy of life. Imagine the river again, flowing smoothly and effortlessly. The water does not worry about where it is going, nor does it fret over how much it has or whether it will run dry. It simply flows, trusting that it will find its way, nourishing the land, bringing life to the trees, the animals, and the people along its banks. This is how money, when used wisely, can flow in your life. It can bring growth, nourish relationships, and create opportunities, not just for you, but for those around you. It is not something to fear or hold back, but something to use with purpose and intention. When you release the need to control, you open yourself to the possibility of greater abundance, not just for yourself, but for everyone you touch. When we understand this, we begin to see that spending money is not a burden, it is an opportunity. It is a chance to invest in the things that matter, to contribute to the well-being of others, and to bring about positive change in the world. To spend money is to acknowledge that you are creating value, and in turn that value returns to you. It may not always come back in the same form, but it will return, because energy is never truly lost. It is simply transformed. When you give with an open heart, when you spend without fear, you become a beacon of light, drawing more opportunities and more abundance into your life. This is why it is so important to release the notion of scarcity and embrace the truth of abundance. Money is not something to be feared, nor is it something to be worshipped. It is simply a tool that can be used to create, to build, to grow, and to enrich your life and the lives of others. When you use it with this mindset, you begin to see that it is not the amount of money you have that matters, but how you use it. It is not the size of your bank account that defines you, but the energy you put into the world and the way you allow that energy to flow. This is not a call to reckless spending, to wastefulness or impulsive purchases, but rather an invitation to spend with intention, with awareness, and with trust. Spend knowing that you are part of a greater whole, that every dollar you spend is an investment in the flow of life. When you spend with purpose, with joy, and with gratitude, you align yourself with the natural order of the universe, and you begin to experience the true abundance that surrounds you. The more you trust in the flow, the more the river of life will carry you to places you never imagined possible. And so, my chosen one, let go of your fear, release your need for control, and spend your money like water. Let it flow freely, circulate abundantly, and watch as it returns to you in ways you never thought possible. Trust in the flow of life, and know that you are a part of something much greater than yourself. In this trust, you will find not only the abundance of money, but the abundance of joy, freedom, and fulfillment. There is something profoundly liberating about spending money, something that many overlook in their pursuit of wealth. The act of spending, especially when done with intention and joy, is not an act of loss, it is an act of creation. It is a powerful declaration of freedom, a statement that you trust in the abundance of life and that you believe in the infinite flow of energy that surrounds you. When you spend money, you are not giving up something, you are creating an exchange, an energy shift that propels you further into the life you want to live. But this requires a fundamental shift in how you view money and the flow of life itself. Money, after all, is just a tool. It is a vehicle for energy, a medium through which value is exchanged. It is not the end goal, but a reflection of your creativity, your contributions, your desires, and your vision. It is a means, not an end. And yet we often treat it as the ultimate goal, hoarding it, saving it, and believing that the more we accumulate, the more secure we will be. But this is an illusion, for no amount of money can shield you from the unpredictability of life. No pile of wealth can grant you true peace or joy, because peace and joy do not come from the material world. They come from within, from an understanding that life is an ebb and flow, a cycle that is far greater than anything we can control or accumulate. When you spend money, you are participating in the cycle of life. You are sending out energy into the world, and that energy will return to you in ways you cannot even fathom. This is not to say that you should spend recklessly or impulsively, but rather that you should spend with intention, with gratitude, and with trust. Trust in the flow of the universe. Trust that there will always be enough. Trust that every dollar you send out will find its way back to you in some form. That you will always be back to the light when you're happy. Do not go born with a pain when you expect with all your soul that things will get better. Spending money with this mindset frees you from the burden of worry and fear, and it opens up a world of possibilities. It is an invitation to engage with the world around you, to enrich your own life and the lives of others, and to contribute to the greater good. It is important to recognize that spending money is not just about purchasing things. It is about investing in experiences, in relationships, in growth, and in the things that bring you joy. It is about aligning your resources with your values and your purpose. When you spend money on something that brings you fulfillment, whether it's an experience, a gift for someone you love, or a tool that helps you grow, you are sending a message to the universe that you believe in abundance. You are saying, I trust that there is always more where that came from. This is not a statement of reckless abandon, but one of conscious faith in the ever-present flow of energy that surrounds us. Spending money in this way is also a way of participating in the collective exchange of life. The money you spend supports businesses, workers, and communities. It helps build the world around you, creating opportunities for others and fostering a greater sense of connection. Every transaction is a ripple in the larger ocean, and when you spend with purpose, you contribute to the creation of a more vibrant, interconnected world. It is not just about you, it is about the collective energy that flows through us all. When you spend money, you are part of a vast network of exchange that is constantly evolving, constantly moving, and constantly growing. But here is the key. In order to experience the true power of spending, you must first let go of the fear that has held you back for so long. The fear that if you spend, you will run out. The fear that if you give, you will have less. These fears are rooted in scarcity, in the belief that there is never enough. But the truth is that there is an infinite supply. Life is abundant, and money, like energy, is meant to circulate. The more you give, the more you receive. The more you spend with love and intention, the more that flow comes back to you, often in unexpected and beautiful ways. It is when we release the need for control that we open ourselves to the true power of money. Money is not a force to be dominated or hoarded. It is a living, breathing expression of the energy that flows through the universe. When you let go of the need to hold on tightly to it, when you trust in its flow and allow it to circulate freely, you align yourself with the natural rhythm of life. And in that alignment, you will find that everything you need, everything you desire, will come to you in its own time and in its own way. Spending money then becomes an act of love, love for yourself, love for others, and love for the world in which we live. It is a recognition that you are part of something much larger than yourself, that you are a participant in the grand dance of creation. Money is just one of the many ways you contribute to the flow of life, and the more you allow it to flow freely through you, the more you open yourself to receiving its abundance in all forms. It's unlikely that you will ever be satisfied with less, leaving the tomorrow to yourself. As you embrace this flow, you will begin to notice something extraordinary happening in your life. The more you trust, the more you give, the more you receive. It is not always immediate, and it is not always in the form you expect, but it is always there. The universe has a way of rewarding those who live in alignment with its natural flow, And when you spend money with joy and purpose, you are saying to the universe, I trust you. I trust the process. I trust that I am taken care of. This is the true power of money, the power to create, to build, to give, and to receive. It is not something to be feared or hoarded, but something to be used with intention, with love, and with trust. So, my chosen one, release your fear, embrace the flow, and spend money like water. Let it circulate freely, and watch as it returns to you in ways that will transform your life and the world around you. The more you spend, the more you will see that abundance is not a destination but a journey of trust, faith, and love. As you move through this world, my chosen one, there is one key realization that will transform the way you experience life. You are not a passive participant in the flow of energy, but an active creator of that flow. Money, as we often perceive it, is not merely a commodity to be traded or an object to be accumulated. It is, in its purest form, a reflection of your own creative energy. Do you really know who you are? Are you thankful that this is your free will? You ask yourself, what you create in the world, what you contribute to life, is mirrored in the money that flows through your hands. The more you give, the more you receive. Not because it is a transactional exchange, but because energy is cyclical, flowing endlessly, and constantly regenerating itself. When you spend money, you are not simply acquiring goods or services. You are investing in the world you want to live in. Every dollar you release into the world is an expression of your creative energy, a manifestation of your values, your intentions, and your vision for the future. You are a creator, a vessel through which energy flows, and money is just one form of that energy. Whether it is spent on an experience, on your growth, or on the needs of others, money is a tool you wield to shape the world around you. Yet we are taught to view money in a limited way. We are taught to believe that our worth is tied to how much we accumulate, that money is the measure of our success or our security. This perspective leads us to hold on to money tightly, to hoard it out of fear that if we let go, we will never have enough. But here lies the great paradox. When you hold on to money too tightly, you create resistance. You block the flow. Money is not meant to be hoarded. It is meant to circulate, to flow freely, to enrich your life and the lives of others. The more you spend, the more you align yourself with the natural flow of life. The more you open yourself to the abundance of the universe. Spending money becomes an act of faith, a declaration that you trust in the infinite flow of energy that exists in the world. It is a trust in yourself, in your ability to create, to give, and to receive. The more you trust this flow, the more you will see that money is not a scarce resource, but a limitless one. It is not something that will run out, but something that replenishes itself constantly, like water in an eternal river. The more you let go, the more life returns to you. This is not some mystical or magical principle. It is a natural law, one that is present in all things. Energy is always in motion, always moving, and the more you align yourself with this natural flow, the more you will see that everything you need is already here, available to you. Spending money is not about extravagance or excess. It is about using the tool wisely and consciously, with the understanding that it is not meant to be hoarded, or hoarded away in the belief that it will bring security. Security is not found in the accumulation of money. It is found in the freedom of letting go, in trusting the flow of life, and in knowing that there is always more than enough. You are not here to cling to wealth, but to share it, to use it as a means of creating value, of building a better world for yourself and others. In doing so, you begin to see that your wealth is not just the sum of your bank balance, but the sum of your contributions to the world, the energy you send out and the connections you build. You are a part of the greater whole, a participant in the vast exchange of life that sustains all things. Money is simply one form of this exchange, a form that reflects the energy you bring into the world. When you spend money, you are not just exchanging currency for goods or services. You are investing in the experiences, relationships, and opportunities that bring you joy, growth, and fulfillment. You are supporting others, empowering them to create, to build, and to grow, just as you are creating, building, and growing in your own life. This is how abundance works. When you release, you create space for more to flow into your life, and that flow extends outward to touch the lives of those around you. Spending money with this awareness shifts your perspective entirely. It transforms money from something to be feared into something to be celebrated. Every dollar you spend becomes an expression of your values, a way of supporting the world and its inhabitants. It is a reflection of your willingness to give, to trust in the process of life, and to live in alignment with the abundance that is all around you. It is not the size of your bank account that determines your wealth, but the way you live, the way you contribute, and the way you engage with the world. When you allow yourself to spend money freely and consciously, you begin to align with the rhythm of life. You begin to see that money is not a scarce resource, but a boundless one, constantly replenishing itself as it flows through you. You begin to understand that as you give, you receive, not because you are seeking something in return, but because the universe responds to the energy you put out into the world. The more you let go, the more you are able to receive, and the more life opens up to you in beautiful, unexpected ways. So, my chosen one, remember that money is not something to be clung to, but something to be used, to be spent, and to be shared. It is a tool, a means, and an expression of the creative energy that flows through you. Spend it with love, with intention, and with trust. Know that the more you give, the more you will receive, and in this beautiful exchange you will find not only material abundance, but a deeper sense of fulfillment, joy, and connection to the vast, limitless flow of life itself. Let money flow through you like water, and watch as it returns to you in ways that will nourish and enrich your life in ways you never thought possible. You, my chosen one, are on the brink of a profound realization. The way you interact with money, the way you spend it, is a direct reflection of your relationship with the universe. You see, money is more than a mere exchange of paper or coins for goods and services. It is a manifestation of energy, a fluid stream that flows through your life, touching everything you encounter. When you learn to spend money as you would water, freely, abundantly, and with trust, you unlock the true power of abundance. This, however, requires a shift in perception. You must let go of the belief that money is scarce, that it is something to be hoarded and guarded against loss. Instead, you must see it as an ever-flowing resource, one that circulates and renews itself. Our fear of spending money often comes from the deep-seated belief that it is limited, that if we spend too much, there will be none left for us. But what if that belief was built on a lie? What if the very act of spending money in the right way could bring more into your life? This is the truth of the universe. When you hold on to something too tightly, you restrict the flow. Like water, money must move. It must flow freely to nourish and sustain. When you release your grip, you open the door to infinite possibility. It is not the act of spending that causes loss, but the fear behind it. Fear of scarcity will always trap you in a cycle of limitation, while trust in the flow of life will set you free. When you spend money with an open heart and a trusting mind, you are not only enhancing your own life, but you are contributing to the greater flow of abundance in the world. You are creating opportunities for others, for businesses, for communities to thrive. Your spending is not an isolated act. It is part of a vast web of interconnected energy. Every dollar you spend is a part of the global flow, a current that moves through the collective, bringing nourishment, growth, and opportunity to all. By investing in the things that matter to you, by spending on what brings joy, fulfillment, and purpose, you are reinforcing the abundance that exists in the world. When you choose to spend, you are not taking away from yourself. You are participating in the expansion of the universe. 6. Money is a reflection of the value you place on things, and value is not something that can be measured by its price tag alone. The true value of something lies in its ability to enrich your life, to bring growth and connection. When you spend money wisely on experiences, relationships, personal growth, or on something that aligns with your deepest values, you are investing in the most important aspects of your life. You are reinforcing what matters most. Money, when used consciously, becomes a tool of creation, a means of aligning your external world with your internal desires. The act of spending also requires that you trust in the abundance of the universe. The moment you step into a place of trust, you release the fear that has held you back, the fear of not having enough, the fear of missing out, the fear of scarcity. All these illusions dissolve when you realize that you are connected to a source of infinite supply. There is always more than enough for you, more than enough for everyone. The universe is abundant, and when you align yourself with this abundance, you allow the flow of life to work in your favor. You begin to see that there is no such thing as a loss in the true sense. The more you give, the more you receive. The more you contribute, the more you are supported. When you spend money without fear, you unlock a deep sense of freedom. You stop seeing money as a finite resource that must be carefully guarded, and you begin to see it as an energy that moves through you, empowering you to create, to give, and to receive. This is not about spending recklessly or without thought, but rather about spending with purpose and intention. You invest in what matters to you, in what brings value to your life and to the lives of others. And the purpose of money is that this spending empowers your life and to the lives of others. You create opportunities for growth, both for yourself and for those around you. You enrich the world with your energy, and the world responds in kind. Every act of spending becomes an act of love when done with the right mindset. You are using your money to bring more life into your life, to invest in experiences that align with your values, to support others and to nourish yourself. You are using money to create joy, to create meaning, and to create connection. This is the true power of money. When it is spent wisely, it becomes a tool for transformation, a vehicle for the energy of creation. It means to take a full deep. When you spend money with love and intention, you are telling the universe that you are in alignment with the flow of life. You are saying that you trust in the abundance that is all around you, and you are ready to participate fully in that flow. And as you do, you will begin to see that the more you let go, the more you open yourself to receiving, the more you release the fear of scarcity, the more you are able to receive the gifts that life has to offer. It is a cycle of giving and receiving, a cycle that is ever expanding, ever flowing, and ever growing. And so, my chosen one, it is time to release your fear, to let go of the scarcity mindset that has held you back. Spend your money like water, freely, abundantly, and with trust. Trust that the universe will provide, that there is always more than enough, and that your act of spending is a powerful expression of your faith in the flow of life. As you do, you will find that money flows to you in ways you never imagined possible. You will discover that the more you give, the more you receive, and that the true abundance of life is not in what you accumulate, but in what you create, share, and receive with an open heart.